there is a two modes of bot. Okay, in an RPA or in an build process automation, typically there are two modes of bot, which is a attended mode and another one is an unattended mode. You need to know what is the difference between attended mode and the unattended mode, where to use those things, and where the attended mode will run and where under the unattended mode will run. Those things you have to be very um, speeches about that. Now, let me share my screen. First, we will discuss about that attended and unattended mode. Attended modes of bots. First, we will see what is in attended mode. Then we will move to the unattended mode. Okay. Actually, attended mode requires manual trigger of the bot to complete a specific activity. The bots are supervised by assign repetitive tasks. This is what the attended modes. Attended mode requires the manual trigger of the bot to complete a specific activity. The bot are supervised by human to tell them to perform the assigned repetitive task. Ideally, what it means, the attended mode requires a human interaction to complete their own task, or the assigned task. But what are the benefits of the attended mode? Benefits of the attended RPA. Attended RPA allows your employees or allows users to monitor your process automation. The user to monitor your process automation while running activities such as real-time data entry task. Let's see if there is any real-time data entry task. The user can monitor those data entry tasks. You can optimize the repetitive task and increase the productivity of the user by removing those time-consuming process for their workload. Let's assume if the bot has been assigned to create a repetitive task of 1000 or 1500 data that has to be copied from one place to the another place. Okay, if there is a large set of data set that has to be copied and it taking a more timing, for that we are assigning the bot to that. Okay, if those data are not important, that we can do, you can do it later, or you can done those activities in a different separation of task. You can do that while accessing these bots. You can interrupt the bot, and you can tell that those tasks has to be prioritized first, and some of the tasks you could not, you no need to do that. Those things is in that can be done in an attended bots. Okay, ideally the manual interaction is possible in this. You can optimize repetitive tasks and increase employee by removing those time consuming procedures from their workload. These are the benefits of the attended mode. Okay. Okay. An example of the attended RPA is activating a bot to fill if the attended RPA or attended bots is filling a form, or it's copying the task from the one place to the another place, so that it is faster than the manual interaction. If the human has to done those filling the forms or the copying the data from one system to the another system, it will take more time, and there could be a possible of errors that may occur. So that we are assigning a bot to do that. But for in that case, we will be assigning an attended bot to do those repetitive tasks. Bot will work for faster than if done manually. Okay, this is the one of the simple example. And the attendant modes will be run in a desktop, and it can't run in a server, guys. That's the one thing we have to know. The attendant modes can be run in a desktop only. It can be perform a set of scheduled tasks. Actually, the unattended automation will trigger automatically to complete the entire process. The manual interaction will not be involved in this unattended bot. For an example, yesterday we have created one Excel automation. Okay. Those Excel automation, once that has been done, we have tested. Okay. Once you see in an RPA or the desktop agent, it will show it's an attended mode, because we are manually testing those automation from a design time. Okay, but the unattended bot will execute when once all the process has been completed, the designing process has been completed, and you are deploying those all the things. It has to be triggered from a some other place, in the sense, ideally how in the real time we will be triggering the automations means we will be triggering from a portal or some other place in the servers. Okay, from the server, it has to be point out this API, this trigger. Within this trigger, it will start to the automation by automatically. The user will not interrupt this. Automatically, it will start the automation process, and it will complete the entire process. That is how the example for unattended and the attended mode. Unattended automation does not need human involvement. Attended automation requires yeah, human. These are all the very simple guys. Okay, and if you go with the benefits, right, for the unattended mode, we will discuss this too. It will take a couple of minutes. Unattended bot doesn't need direct human interaction to start an automation. It runs its own Yeah, these are the little bit theory part of the unattended and attended mode, guys. You just go through when you have a free session, the free time. Okay, and this is fine. Yeah, guys, this could be fine. We will move to one of the important thing which I have think of to show you about an API trigger. Okay, ideally we should know, you should know, guys, to trigger an API. Okay, how to trigger an API. These are all the automations. Fine. Whether we have any. This is the very simple automation scenario. It's a simple workflow management scenario that we have discussed, right? Okay. Here, what we have done to trigger this, we have done an order processing form. We have created one order processing form, and through that we have triggered it. But ideally, what it should be happen, you cannot. You this is also possible. You can directly uh, get the link for the portal. You can directly trigger it from, you can configure this as a tile in a portal, and you can directly trigger from there. Okay, this is also one of the scenario we can take. And in such a case, how the customer will ask once it's come to an order processing form, whether the customer will have a subscription of SAP build apps. Okay, build apps is nothing but a drag and drop capabilities of creating a simple simple UI application, not an UEFI application, UI application based on the app giver functionality. Okay, it's just a low code and no code technique that which SAP has been introduced. And other than this, how it will be done in real time, ideally the user will have a n number of UFA applications, because nowadays most of the customers are as migrating their workflow process from workflow management to this SAP build process automation, because SAP has been clearly said, if there is if also be an paid subscription of this workflow management is processed somewhere, they can't give service, they can't support till beyond this 2025. Okay, 2025 August. Beyond that, they can't support the flow management tool. So that all the customers are planning to migrating this entire workflow management functionality to this SAP build process automation, because the future of the SAP is build only. That SAP has introducing lot of new functionalities and processes, services in this within this build. Okay, so that all the customers are moving this. Ideally, you will get a requirement to create, or you can just want to recreate what are all the workflow management that has been done in their system. You have to manipulate or repeat it here in this build process automation. Okay, ideally, how we will trigger the workflow management in a build process automation, we will trigger from an UFA application, or we will trigger from the CAPM. Okay, with the help of APIs we will be triggered. Okay, but now the UFA is also, most of the customers don't want to go with the typical UFA process. Ideally, they will not change the process, the trigger will happen from the UFA only. Instead of that, they need to some other, they can directly, because here in this automation build process automation, we have an option to directly get the link of this form, and we can tie it up to this portal service, right, or the build work zone service, so that ideally they can think about that too. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, most of the customer asking for that in a real time. I'm facing so those things in a customer. For that, what you have to do, you need to know how to trigger from an API, as well as how you need to trigger from the portal. Those things you have to be very clear, guys, so that we will see now the API trigger. Okay, just I'm taking this simple process. Here we have given all the outputs here. Just I will take one of the screenshot. Yeah, okay. Ideally the form will be there, right? Okay. Yeah. Before to that, I will create one data type, guys. Before deleting this, what I will do, I will create one data type. Guys, you have any doubt what the process I have explained? This is the ideal way, guys. In a real time, this is how you will get a project, or you how this workflow management and automations will work. Okay. You have two functionalities in this embedded with this. One is a workflow management, and the another one is a process automation. Okay. Most of the customer will go with these two functionalities. If they need any automation process, then they will go with these two functionalities, or else most of the customers will ask for a workflow management only. Just they need a workflow management for the approval and all kind of things. So you have to be very clear on those. Customer name, expected delivery date, order amount. Okay, expected delivery date. It's a date. The type is date. Fine. And the uh, order amount, order date. Okay, we will save this process. And this data type is being saved. Okay. Then what we'll do, we will remove this. Okay. We will remove this and add a trigger as an API trigger. Okay, the process needs to be saved before. Okay, save it. Okay, after creating this order processing API trigger, what we will be doing? We will be doing you have to map those inputs. Okay, where you can map those inputs? Here in this, go to variables, go to configure. Okay. These are all the predefined inputs that you having that have been mapped out. Okay, so that you have to delete all those things. You have to map it from the data type. Expected delivery date. These are all the required fields. Order date is also required. Shipping country is also required. We mark everything as required fields. Click on apply. Here in the triggers, it should show this order processing underscore API trigger as a trigger, not as on the form. Okay. Now, in the next step, what we will be doing, I think some of the process has to be changed or not. Mm, Here we have map it out and changed the name of this. Fine. Then the modification of the process is required. Yes. We have to map the inputs for that, right? Okay, guys. This is the one way we can directly do this. Okay. I need to check one of the thing. Let me give me a minute. The modification of the process. Okay, what we have given earlier in the condition. Order amount, I think, right? Yeah, it should be the order amount from the process input of sales order details. Yeah, order amount, okay, is greater than some value. Applied. Okay, fine. Here in the approval form, whether we have to change anything, we will check that. Yeah, all the inputs are not mapped here. So that we will map those inputs. Customer name, order amount, delivery date, order number, order number. Okay, this is fine. Approval form for the input, the customer name. What you can give it in a description. Executing the data, order number is fine. Okay. Okay, guys. We have changed the input from the form to this API trigger. Okay, that has been done. Next to this, we are going to release this API trigger. We are going to release this project with an API trigger. Okay, once we release it, we will deploy it. Okay, added API trigger to the process. Okay, API trigger is fine, and we will. I am deploying this with an API trigger. Yeah, while deploying, it will show you that will be created. Okay. Okay. Now it's deployed and in active state. Next, to trigger this, what is the next process? How you can trigger this? Do you have any idea, guys? How you can trigger this? How you will form a payload? From the payload, where you can trigger that? Do you have any idea? Okay. For that, what we have to do, we have to create a destination specific to this SAP BPA. Okay. For this build process automation, we have to create a destination. In the destination, you need to do some of the authentications, or you need to add a trigger URL in that directly. Within the trigger URL, you have to trigger this process. Okay. Before going with an destination, we have to create an instance, because why we have to create an instance for this SAP build process automation, in the sense, while we're creating an instances only, then in the Cloud Foundry runtime, those instances will be progressed based on the client ID and client secrets and the URL that we have created in a service key. With the help of the service key, the destination will be triggered. Okay. Yeah. I think already instance is created for this. Yeah. And SAP BPA instance. Okay. We have to create a service key, then only it's possible. Okay. Fine. Service key is creating. You can see its creation in progress. Once you do this, you can able to see the credentials, what are all the URLs that has been created automatically from the JSON. Okay, the service key will be created automatically from the SAP BTP cloud platform. We won't need to interrupt in this. Client ID and client secret is there, and the URL. Where is the URL? The endpoint URL. The API is the URL, and the client ID and client secret, and the process, the actual SAP build process automation, build process automations instance URL is this. We have to use all those things. Okay. Now we will create a destination. Okay. If I create a destination also, whether we can subscribe to build work zone. Is it possible? What I have planned to show you the work zone subscription as well, but here I'm not able to subscribe for the build work zone. I'm not getting those services in this sub account. Okay.
I think that SAP GUI.
Okay. Yeah, Excel automation. This is the one, right? Not this one.
No. Yeah.
Yesterday we have done the Excel automation.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this input parameter visible true should be false. Can you go to the first one? This should be false. Visible. Now try this. Save it and just test it. Now test. Will be shown.
Akshat, you can also compare with yours. Please.
Yeah, I'm also checking mine.
Okay, so it's all the data. So those things that we have created. Okay. Now it's fine. Okay. You can test it as well. now.
Actually, I missed what was the change that I made.
Hmm. I'm not sure why you have added this input output for this automation details. Here, in this, you have added a input as sheet 1. Okay. Once you added a sheet 1 or sheet 3, okay, and click save, it will ask while triggering the automation to give a mandatory input. This is for the whole automation. Okay. Okay, just I deleted this input and I saved it. Okay. Now it's okay. Okay. Yeah, guys, here this is the project that I have mentioned. It is available in a store. See what was the why they have created the predefined or out of the box project. In the sense, companies have frequently received order requests from the customers as an email attachment in the form of Excel spreadsheet. The internal sales representative must then manually or individually enter the sales order details from this spreadsheet to create sales order in the system. For that, what they have solution the SAP has done, the bot automates the sales order creation process, allowing the companies to create a large volume of sales order in less reduce error. Okay. The bot monitors a specified base folders with the Excel files that we have. Once the Excel files has been created, it will monitor those Excel files or scan under emails with the sales order subject. If you are going with an Outlook SDK automation, then the bot will search for an sales order emails as well with the subject of sales order emails in line and having the Excel files as an attachment. The bot transforms the Excel files into a structure that can be used by the sales order creation API. The bot then creates a sales order in the system based on the details in the Excel. Okay. The bot notifies the relevant stakeholders with the details of orders created in the system. Okay. This is what you can directly add this project to our lobby. What are the industries? Insurance, life science, milk products, sports and entertainment, media, high tech, higher education, research, healthcare, telecommunications. Those are the industries that can use the sales order creation. Okay. By default, it's in the released mode. Yeah, here you can have a look. Here, what they are doing. You can just refer this and you can create by your own, because if you want to add any some of the process here, you can't do it, because ideally it will be in a released mode. This is the initial setup that they are doing. Yeah, this is just script they are adding it here. Fetch environment variables, where they have declared the environment variables. What are the environment variables they have declared here? System your on-prem system, SAP client number, okay. System URL, okay. Email recipients, okay. Email read, okay. Okay, these are the environment variables, Excel SDK and Outlook SDK they have added here. Apart from this is the main workflow. Initialization, getting the required artifacts. In this initialization, just some of the script they will be maintained. Error message at times. Okay. This is a JSON script. Environment variables. All are variable retrieved. Okay. Yeah, Akshat, you have asked for this Excel automation, sales order automation with the Excel, right? Here I have added the out-of-box project, okay? Here I have added it. You can refer this automatic creation of sales order from Excel. Okay, for this, for the detail explaining, I have referred one blog, okay? How to, what are all the process that has been done here. I had taken from there only. I will try to give that blog too. You can refer by comparing the reading the blogs as well as by seeing these what are the artifacts that has been created. Okay, but ideally you can directly import this process, but you can't do any editing things here. You can't add any more steps or you can't delete. You can't delete this here. That's what the only thing. You just refer it. If we want to do it as a lab activity or a workaround session, we need a OData service. You have to create a OData service and you have to register it in the that main underscore IWFND main underscore service transaction. Then only we can able to trigger this. Okay. Which account it has server plus 0. Okay. Before going to that, what I do, I will. I guess I have logged into this my trial account. Okay, here I will be having more instances subscriptions. And I'm using a custom identity provider as well. I won't go with the default one. Uploading the project which I have down exported from here on that account. I'm importing here. Okay, sales order management. We have that. We will check whether the updated one is there. Yeah, trigger is AP trigger. Fine. Okay. And now the service. Yeah, we are having an option to create a standard edition of SAP Build Work Zone. This is a portal service, launchpad service from the SAP. Okay, we will do it later. First, what we will do, we will get one destination. Okay. Yeah. Here. I have already created one destination to trigger the process, but that will be from the build apps. Okay. I'll try to trigger it once again. Before that, I will check whether the instance and subscriptions and the service key is created for this instance. BPA, yeah, build process automation is there. Fine. Type is HTTP, description, and the URL that you have to get it, the API URL. Okay, what is the API URL is, where we can get that API URL. Okay, let it be. I'll go to instance and subscription. This is a key. Okay, this is an API URL. Actually, what's the use of that service key in the sense, while creating a destination, we have to mention this particular service. Okay, here I am mentioning that SAP Build Process Automation Service as a service. For this service, I'm having one API URL. We will be accessing those API URLs with the standard workflow. We have another one REST APIs. Okay, by default in SAP API Business Hub, to trigger this workflow and to get the task, those things and all, we have another one API. We have to append those APIs with these two APIs, and we have to give us an URL. Okay. Once we done this, then it will ask for a authentication. For this, once you are giving this API URL, it will ask for the authentication. We have to give us OAuth2 client credentials. Once those authentication is configured, you have to give the client ID and client secret. With the help of the client ID and client secret, it will fetch the bearer token. Ideally, you will be fetching a XSRF token, right? The same here, it will fetch a bearer token with the help of client ID and client secret. Then in the background, it will do all those processing while triggering each and every time the process or the workflow. It will get a bearer token. It will generate, and this will generate a one kind of URL in a backend. Then with those URL, it will hit those instance. What that URL we have mentioned, right? It will hit those instance and it will help to trigger our workflow which we have deployed in our system, in our environment, so that we are using those service keys. Actually, service key is bound to the service that we have created. In that service key only, we have all the informations like client ID, client secrets, what are all the URL, API URL, each and everything we will be getting in that service key only. Ideally, it will be used to create a destinations. And if you are testing a standalone, let's assume you don't have any application to trigger it. Okay, you are not able to build. You can directly trigger this workflow from or automation from a Postman. You know the Postman tool, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, from the Postman, from the standalone. Then what you will do there, with this help of the client ID and client secret, you will get a bearer token manually, and you will append the bearer token there in a Postman. Then you can trigger the service. This is a standalone process. Where we have taken that, and what is next is required. Client ID and client secret is required. And this URL is also required. Actually, this URL is an endpoint URL. Like that, while we creating any OData service, you will be giving an endpoint, right? This is like an endpoint. Yeah. If we give this workflow instance URL, it will directly fetch the workflow instances. What are all the workflow instances that has been tied up to this? It will fetch automatically with this help of the endpoint key. Okay, API endpoint. Now, the proxy type should be the internet. Ideally, we are working with the cloud. It should be the internet. And the authentication, we can give the OAuth2 client credentials. Yes. Then only I will ask for a client ID and client secret. Okay. Token service URL type is dedicated, because once we given this client ID and client secret, it should be dedicated. And what is token service URL? Okay. The URL which we have get it from the last, right, from the service key. This is the token service URL. Here we need to append slash o slash token. Okay. Once we append these two parameters and paste it here. Okay. Then we will able to test it. And for accessing this build process automation, we need to give two more additional properties. One is AppGyver enabled is true, and one more property is HTML for dynamic destination. It will be always true, and web ID enabled. You can use it in your BAS as well, this destination. Then SAP dot process automation dot enabled. It's true. Okay. Once we do this, click on save and try to check connection. Yeah, since it's 401 unauthorized, but it's giving a green. Okay, this 401 unauthorized is fine. No problem. Okay, it will give. Okay, now the destination is created. We will test this workflow that we have created. Okay. Once we have successfully deployed the business process, unable to load Cloud Studio, unauthorized. Fine. Yeah. Once you have successfully deployed the process with an API trigger, you can view the API trigger, the overview section under the trigger tabs. Okay. Once you've done this, then you need to get the payload for this. Where you will be get the payload? Where you need to get the payload, you have to go to this lobby and navigate to the control towers. In the control towers, go to an environment. In an environment, we have deployed all the things in a public. Wait a minute, I have deployed or not? I have not deployed. Okay, here you could see what are the deployed projects. Okay, then if you go to the not under triggers, we don't have anything. This is our trigger. you can see all the data here. This is the payload. Okay. And this is the API URL to start the process. We will copy this API URL for now. And the payload. We have to copy the payload as well with the definition ID. We have the definition ID, right? This is the definition ID. If you could remember, while creating a destination, we have added those definition ID in the last by fetching by executing that API or the destination. It will first get this API definition ID in a backend that you can't see in a runtime. That will be our backend job that will be run there. Okay. Okay. This is the definition ID and the sales order details. You can even get the process definition ID from the monitor. Once you have triggered this in a monitor tab, right? In that monitor tab also you could get those definition ID. That's also possible. Okay. Yeah. Now what you have to do, for now I will show you how to trigger this from an API Business Hub directly. Okay. Let me log into SAP API Business Hub. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. Once you go to this workflow instance, here there is a post operation, right? Yeah. Start a new workflow instance of the provided workflow definition. Specify the ID of the workflow definition in the body. The workflow instance automatically starts based on the latest deployed version of the definition. Okay. Roles workflow instance start. These roles should be provided for you and the workflow initiator. It's a global role. In a global account, there is a role, and in the sub account, you should need this workflow instance start role. Okay, how you will form a payload? This is the sample payload that I have given. Yeah, these are the sample payloads. Definition ID, context, attachment, everything. With this, you have to trigger a workflow. The response, if it's a 201, returns newly created workflow instance. It has been run. 400 means it's a bad request. 401 in the sense it's unauthorized. These are all the errors you could get. Okay. Yeah. First we will log in with this. Yeah. We will go for this tryout. Here you should choose the workflow instance post this one. Okay. Here you should see this workflow instance. Then the environment, you have to add an environment. Some demo environment. The starting URL, just it's take the API URL, but
Okay, ours is US 10. And the resulting URL also you have to give. Based on the just take on the resulting URL. Okay. Authentication type. Client ID and client secret. Once all this done, okay, okay. You have to give the headers, configure the headers. Okay, BRR is done. Then you can go to the body, payload or input that you have to append it here. The definition ID we have taken there. Okay. It's giving 401 unauthorized error. Okay, we will check. Okay, we are getting this error. Why we are getting this error?